好，大家好。
Good afternoon. Welcome to the press conference on joint cross-border scam arrest operation. We'll first invite the 5 representatives to take to the center of the stage for a group photo.
好，麻煩前排影員可以讓俾後排嘅 camera 影。
Please, will the photographers in front sit down so that the cameraman at the back could also capture the image.
係咪都 OK 啦？
Are you all ready?
OK。
Fine, thank you. Please take your seat. Thank you. I'll first introduce the speakers to you. In the middle, we have Mr. Ernest Wong, Superintendent, Commercial Crime Bureau, Hong Kong Police Force. Second to the right, Ms. Eileen Yap, Assistant Commissioner of Police of the Anti-Scam Command, Singapore Police. To the far right, Mr. Chang Eung-hong, Head of Anti-Fraud Coordination Center of the Macau Judiciary Police. To the left, next to Mr. Wong, we have Mr. Sang-hoon Park, Superintendent of National Counter-Scam Center, Korean National Police Agency. To the far left, we have Mr. Pipun Sukrakti Werunko, Police Colonel of Cybercrime Investigation Bureau of the Royal Thai Police. The 5 speakers will first make some remarks, and then the floor will be open to questions. Good afternoon. I am Chief Superintendent Ernest Wong from the Commercial Crime Bureau of the Hong Kong Police Force. It is my great honor to attend the press conference today together with representatives from the law enforcement agencies of Macau SAR, Singapore, South Korea and Thailand to present the results of the first joint operation conducted under the anti-scam cross-jurisdictional cooperation platform Frontier. Cross-boundary scam cases have been soaring, and they've become a major global challenge. The criminals use technology and the psychological weakness of victims to carry out scam, causing financial loss and psychological harm to victims. To deal with such issues, we can't rely on a single region alone. So recognizing the urgent need for international collaboration to fight against scams, the anti-scam centers from multiple jurisdictions jointly established Frontier Plus in October. to enhance communication coordination and cooperation among the anti-scam centers. Between the 28th of April and the 28th of May in 2025, a total of 7 anti-scam centers conducted the first joint transnational operation under Frontier Plus. Apart from the 5 regions represented here, Australia, Malaysia and Maldives also took part in the operation. This operation targeted fraud and related cybercrimes and money laundering offences. During the months-long operation, the 8 anti-scam centers worked tirelessly to coordinate anti-scam operations to identify and dismantle scam networks. Across all participating regions, a total of 9,268 cases were investigated, including e-shopping fraud, telephone deception, investments fraud, rental scam, and employment fraud, involving a financial loss of 1.75 billion Hong Kong dollars, or the equivalent of 225 million US dollars. During the operation, a total of 33,991 subjects were interviewed, and 1,858 subjects were arrested, aged between 14 and 81 years old. That shows that our determination to combat such crimes together. Now I will hand over to Mr. Ryan Yek to give the floor to Ms. Eileen Yap to say 2 words to share the background about the frontier and so on, and then the other representatives will also share their cases.
First and foremost, I want to thank the Hong Kong Police Force for organizing this press conference, and I would also like to take this opportunity to thank the media and everyone for your time and interest in understanding more about our Operation Frontier Plus. I will now provide the background of Frontier Plus. Frontier Plus was first conceived at the Global Anti-Scam Summit in Singapore in October 2024. At that point of time, several countries and jurisdictions which has anti-scam center participated in the conference, and this idea of having Frontier Plus, which stands for Funds Recovery Operations and Networks Team, Inspiring Effective Resolution Plus, was conceived. Frontier Plus serves as a vital platform connecting law enforcement agencies across borders and strengthening regional anti-scam efforts to disrupt scammers' operation, to mitigate victims' losses, and most importantly, to dismantle scam syndicates. We do this via the 4 I's approach. First and foremost, information sharing. Here, we hope that every country, every jurisdiction can come together to share scam trends. 2, intelligence. We want to know more about the syndicates so that we can effectively dismantle them. 3, intervention. We not only want to freeze bank accounts, moving forward, we want to take down the telecommunication network, we want to block websites, we want to take down social media accounts and advertisements. And most important of all, international cooperation. We hope to galvanize more countries and more jurisdictions to come together to fight against scams. Because we know that scams is a transnational crime, no country, no jurisdiction can fight them in silo. Now, on this screen, you can see that there are all the countries and jurisdictions who are now in our Frontier Plus. Singapore, Hong Kong, the Republic of Korea, Thailand, the Republic of Maldives, and Malaysia first joined Frontier Plus. Following that, we have Australia, Macao SAR, we have Indonesia, as well as Canada joining us, making 10 member countries as well as jurisdiction. Following the formation of Frontier Plus, we have several good recoveries. Today, I'll share on 3 good recoveries that we have. In this case, Malaysia's victim fell prey to investment scams in December. And through their end-to-end fund tracing, they have detected money coming to Singapore at the 4th layer. This was a sum of 378,000 ringgit. And from there, very quickly, through our Frontier Plus network, we managed to get the information, call the bank, immediately we were able to cite that amount, and we earmark that amount. Next, in the case of Internet Love Scam, this victim fell prey to scam in December and has sent over 137,000 Sing dollars. And through our end-to-end fund tracing, we found out that 99,000 has gone to Malaysia. And again, with Frontier Plus collaboration, we managed to contact National Scam Response Center of Malaysia and successfully recovered 34,000. Though it is not a full amount, but I would like to highlight that it is only with Frontier Plus that we are able to have such collaboration, such connection, and direct contact to another country's anti-scam center to recover money for scam victims. And something that is really close to our heart. This case happened in Singapore, but the money has come to Hong Kong. So in March, we have a case where a finance director received information, right, a direction from his CEO. His CEO is a multinational corporation, and this CEO, who is actually a scammer, told him that, hey, you are involved in a project. This is a restructuring project. You are not supposed to tell anyone. Then he assigned a lawyer. And all this communication was through impersonation, through deepfakes video. The finance director was then told to attend a meeting, a Zoom meeting. And before that meeting, he was made to sign non-disclosure agreement, confidentiality clause, that he will not inform anybody about it. And during that Zoom meeting, this finance director was very interesting. In order to ensure that the people that he's meeting at the meeting is the right person, he went into their LinkedIn account to confirm their face, their photo. After that meeting, he was convinced and he transferred $499,000 to Hong Kong bank account. And following that, the scammers tried to get more money, get him to transfer more money, and it was at this point of time that he realized that he has fallen prey to scam. Although he did not call police immediately, he contacted his bank to freeze his bank account. I still remember at that night, it was past 10 p.m., and bank in Singapore contacted us, and we immediately contacted ADCC Hong Kong. And very quickly, Hong Kong was able to confirm with us that more than $500,000 was recovered. These three cases demonstrate the importance of having an anti-scam center, having an infrastructure to fight scams. Following that, we mooted the idea of Frontier Plus operation. And we were very happy that 7 jurisdictions agreed to join us. So in this Frontier Plus operation, which spanned from 28th of April to 28th of May, 2,784 enforcement officers participated. This is the Singapore statistics. During the operation, we arrested more than 100 persons, interviewed more than 500 people, frozen 700 over bank accounts, and recover close to $6 million. Today, we'll highlight a scam trend that we have detected in Singapore. This scam trend is called Chinese Services and Government Official Impersonation Scam. Now, why we highlight this case? Because we realize that sometimes scams that happen in the country may ultimately happen in another country nearby. So, this is a case of Chinese Services Impersonation Scam, where the victims receive phone calls from the scammer impersonating as Alipay, WeChat, or UnionPay staff. The victim would then be told that their subscription or insurance is going to be expire, and they are supposed a sum of money will be taken out from their bank account, will be transferred out from their bank account. So then the victims are told to provide information, personal information, to the scammer, so that money will not be transferred to the account. In other instances, the victim will be told to transfer the money to the scammer. And most of the time, when the victim are not convinced or become suspicious, these scammers will take them to the next level by alleging that they are involved in money laundering cases. So out of fear, the victims would usually transfer the money. So there are some common tactics that the scammer employ. For instance, they use local numbers, Singapore numbers. They use native languages like Mandarin and English. They use authority to instill fear in the victim. They use technology, for instance. They ask the victim to open their screen sharing function in WeChat so that they can direct them in transferring money. They have also asked the victim to open cryptocurrency account to facilitate fund transfers. And in some cases, they use government websites to lend credence to their identity. Now, during Frontier Plus, we have 2 cases which demonstrated good recovery. In these 2 cases, the victim has transferred $25,000 and $45,000 to Malaysia. One is a direct transfer to a Malaysia bank account. The other transfer, the $45,000, was through fund tracing. And because of our Operation Frontier Plus network, we were able to contact National Scam Response Center of Malaysia, and they very quickly helped us to recover 9,400 in one case and 9,600 in another case. So everyone here, we call upon everyone and every country, every jurisdiction to set up an anti-scam center so that we can fight scams at scale and speed. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Superintendent Sang-hyun Park from the Korean National Counter-Scam Center. Let me share the key results of our recent operation against scam activities. We interviewed a total of 2,190 individuals during the investigation, leading to the arrest of 116 suspects. In total, we examined 2,275 scam cases. The financial loss from these scams reached $68.2 million US. To disrupt these criminal networks, we froze 7,105 related bank accounts. Additionally, we recovered or seized $3.69 million US. These results highlight our ongoing efforts to combat financial crimes and protect the public from scams. Now, I'd like to share an overview of current scam trends in Korea and the countermeasures we are taking. Recently, Korea has seen a sharp rise in no-show scams, which mainly target small business owners. Scammers place large orders, request upfront payments or service fees, and then disappear without notice. Originally, these scammers impersonated military or correctional staff. Now, they increasingly pretend to be celebrities or political party officials, especially during election seasons. Such cases have surged nearly 4.7 times over the past 5 years. Credit card delivery scams also remain prevalent. A scammer posing as a delivery agent contacts the victim and persuades them to call a fake customer center. This center is actually operated by another member of the criminal group who impersonates a prosecutor or financial regulator. Victims are then tricked into installing malicious apps that give scammers full control of their smartphones. In 2024 alone, this scam resulted in over 1,700 reported cases and financial losses exceeding approximately $132 million US. Scammers often evade security software by first installing remote control apps, then manually adding malware. They also manipulate caller ID and message sender information to make communications appear legitimate. These groups run their profits through virtual assets and shell companies, moving cryptocurrency across multiple exchanges or using circular bank transfers to hide the origin of funds. Nevertheless, we made significant arrests and asset recoveries across various scam cases. Our efforts have successfully disrupted major criminal networks and helped return stolen assets to victims. To counter this, the Korean National Police Agency has established an integrated system for prevention, enforcement, and recovery. We suspend transactions on scam-related bank accounts and block suspicious virtual asset wallets in cooperation with exchanges. We also apply for pre-trial asset seizure to prevent the dissipation of criminal proceeds. Since 2022, we have partnered with telecom firms to detect malicious apps on victims' devices and dispatch officers to assist them. During Operation Frontier Plus, we assisted thousands of victims and prevented approximately $657,000 US in voice phishing losses. Through early detection, real-time blocking, and victim-centered support, we will continue our efforts to eliminate scam crimes. Thank you.
to the esteemed chairman or police officer representing member countries in Operation Frontier Plus, as well as the media and public gathered here today. I'm Police Colonel Pibunsuk Latiwerot-Kun, Superintendent of the Legal and Discipline Division, General Staff Division, Cybercrime Investigation Bureau, or called CCIB. Thai Police representing the Royal Thai Police. It is a great honor to have this opportunity to present the operation report for Operation Frontier Plus, a collaborative effort with various member countries. I would like to report on Thailand's operation result as follows. Total report mail accounts more than 28,000 accounts. Arrest of mail account holders more than 500 individuals. Technology crime case investigated more than 200 cases. Total report damage more than 58 million US dollar. Number of accounts successful frozen more than 10,000 accounts. Fund successful frozen and returned to victims over 3 million US dollar. With the joint operation of law enforcement agency and the assessment of damage incurred, the CCIB are confident that we will recover at least 10 million US dollar for the victim in the future. The digital transformation has significantly reshaped Thailand's economy and society, leading to a substantial increase in cybercrime. The prevalence type of cybercrime observed in Thailand are the first is online shopping scam. This scam accounts for over 49% of all cybercrime cases in Thailand, while the damage per case is often not substantial. The sheer volume of these incidents make them the most common type of cybercrime of the world. The type of case we wish to mention is importer scam and investment fraud. Will this type of crime occur raise frequency that cause the highest and second highest financial damage respectively? In Thai, we have the Money Cashback Project. It's a collaborative initiative between the CCIB and private banks aimed at freezing funds belonging to victims of cybercrime. The process begins with law enforcement officer and bank officials jointly analyze suspicious financial transaction. If this analysis reveals that a transaction is the result of online fraud, the bank will immediately freeze the account and impound the funds involved in the transaction. Subsequently, CCIB officer will investigate the case to prosecute the offenders. Simultaneously, the CCIB will contact the victims and return the frozen fund to the promptly, providing immediate relief from the distress. With the joint operations of law enforcement agency and the assessment of damage incurred, the cyber police are confident they can recover at least 10 million US dollar for the victims. The last, in May 2025, Thailand experienced a less common but significant cybercrime incidents that a business email compromise, or called BEC, business email compromise. In this case, criminal illicitly access the computer system of a private company in Japan, especially infiltrating their email system that discover ongoing international trace communication and proceed to spoof emails, redirecting payment channel to Thailand. This team successfully brought over $7 million into Thai bank accounts. Thanks to strong collaboration between the CCIB and a private bank in Thailand, that suspicious transactions were identified. This led to freezing of accounts and a planned investigation through criminal organization. The operation resulted in the arrest of transnational criminal organizations, including 2 African nationals and 4 Thais, who were responsible for withdrawing money and opening new accounts. The CCAB is currently examining the electronic device seized from the suspect to further expand the investigation. Thank you.
各位下午好，我係澳門司法警察局反詐騙協調中心嘅負責人張遠雄。接住落嚟啦，我就會同大家簡介喺今次行動入邊，澳門方面嘅數據同埋近年澳門電訊網絡騙案嘅情況，並且咧係會分享一宗打擊嘅案例嘅。咁喺今次行動期間呢，我哋合共開立78宗嘅騙案，涉及嘅金額咧約莫係1200萬嘅澳門元。我哋咧亦都對16名嘅人士進行調查，當中
involving 12 million pecatas. We investigated 16 persons and arrested 9 of them. We also froze 8 bank accounts and 67,000 petakas. In recent years, same as in other places, Macau has seen a soar in phone scam cases, telecom scam cases. In 2024, we investigated 1,260 cases and a drop of a year-on-year increase of 1.4%, and the amount involved was 232 million pecatas, a year-on-year decrease of 25.3%. Well, of course, the scam cases have dropped from the peak, but still that require our attention. In 2024, with a phone scam, there were 3 main type modus operandi: impersonating government officials, guess who I am, and ordering scam. And then 70% involved impersonating as government officials. They account for 90% of the loss. Now for cyber scam, they only account for 9% of the total scam cases, but then they account for 60% of the financial loss. So it shows that in each investment scam case, the amount involved is substantial. And so we need, on prevention, we adopt an approach of prevention, recovery, and combating. And in April 2023, we set up the Anti-Deception, Anti-Fraud Coordination Center, and in May this year, we upgraded the center to further improve our work. And on recovery, in 2024, we worked with the banking sector to we successfully intercepted or disrupted 597 cases involving 110 million pecatas. And then on combating cases, we have in this operation we focus on scammers impersonating as a customer service of Alipay, and we neutralized 2 scammers hideout. And for this case, it happened in early April. Many residents reported receiving calls from fake Alipay customer service. They informed scam victims that their insurance is due to expire, and so fees will be charged, and that they can help with cancelling the insurance, and so they ask for transfer and so on. And then eventually we traced all these calls to residential unit in Macau. And then on the 29th of April, we detected one of the hideout, and then we received and then we seized some geo IP equipment and so on. We did so again in May, and then after the investigation, we conducted mounted an operation on the 16th of May. We seized 8 sets of geo IP equipment in a hotel room and arrested a woman. And 2 operations, we seized 16 sets of geo IP equipment that have made over 400,000 calls and resulting in 84 victims, and the amount lost was 4 million patakas. So we will further deepen our international cooperation, and so that we could share information, data, and intelligence, and together we could crack down on cross-boundary telecom scam cases. Thank you. Now I will report on the results of Hong Kong in the Operation Frontier. Now, in the operation, a total of 337 persons aged between 14 and 81 were arrested for 301 cases, mainly related to e-shopping fraud, telephone deception, investment fraud, and employment fraud. A total of 49.5 million Hong Kong dollars, or 6.32 million US dollars of crime proceeds were intercepted and recovered from 68 bank accounts. Regarding scam situation in Hong Kong in the first 4 months of 2025, we recorded 13,155 cases of deception, year-on-year decrease of 9%, but then the loss amount was down by 30%. The increase was primarily due to e-shopping fraud, mainly involving concert tickets-related scams. As for biggest losses, they were recorded for investment scam, employment fraud, and telephone deception. In particular, the loss under investment scams in the first 4 months of 2025 has reached 1.18 billion Hong Kong dollars. Employment fraud, including boosting sales scams, recorded a significant increase in number and loss amount. There was a substantial increase, and the loss amount was 137 million Hong Kong dollars. The number of cases reached 1,545 cases, an increase of 70%. Now, I will highlight one significant case and our achievement in identifying potential victims under upstream scam intervention scheme during the operation period of Frontier Plus. That's the Operation Night Strike. As deception syndicates have been using a large number of stooge accounts to collect fraudulent payments and launder money, Hong Kong police stepped up enforcement actions to combat these crimes. We identify a syndicate starting from July 2024. They've been actively recruiting mainlanders to come to Hong Kong to open bank accounts, and then they used through cash withdrawals and cryptocurrency purchases. They laundered victim scam monies. The investigation revealed the syndicate laundered about 118 million Hong Kong dollars through over 558 bank accounts and virtual asset transactions. On the 15th of May 2025, the Commercial Crime Bureau mounted an operation code-named Night Strike and arrested 12 individuals for conspiracy to money laundering. Among those arrested, 2 local individuals were core syndicate members, and 10 mainland individuals were stooge account holders. During the operation, the police seized $1.05 million Hong Kong dollars in cash, over 560 bank cards and multiple mobile phones, and a large number of bank documents and virtual assets trading records. All those involved who were arrested were charged. So we will continue to take stringent enforcement actions to combat organized cross-border fraud and money laundering activities, leverage technology to enhance investigation efficiency, and apply to the court for enhanced sentencing for relevant cases. In addition to enforcement actions, the Hong Kong Police Force takes very seriously early scam intervention to minimize losses for victims. Through close collaboration with local banks, we have proactively identified potential victims and taken coordinated steps to contact and alert them, then prevent further financial losses. During the operation, the joint efforts of the police and banks have successfully disrupted 832 ongoing deception cases, preventing the loss of 27.7 million Hong Kong dollars. The Frontier Plus platform allowed us to reach out not only to local victims but also to 2 overseas victims. One of the 2 overseas victims held a Singapore account. It was discovered that he transferred 1.2 million Hong Kong dollars to a stooge account in Hong Kong. On the 16th of May 2025, we alerted the Singapore Korean anti-scam center. On the following day, the officers in Singapore contacted victim and confirmed that he had been scammed in an investment fraud with total losses amounting to 7.8 million Hong Kong dollars. Another case involved a victim in Macau who fell victim to a telephone scam. With the prompt assistance of Macau's Anti-Fraud Coordination Center, the victim was quickly alerted, limiting his loss to 160,000 Hong Kong dollars. The victims were unaware of the scams until they were approached by police officers. These cases demonstrated that through cross-border collaboration, we could protect the assets of citizens in different places. Our observations indicate notable similarities in scam trends across jurisdictions. For example, in 2024, impersonation of customer service scams became widespread in Hong Kong. By 2025, similar fraudulent schemes emerged in Singapore and Macao SAR. We can see that scam syndicates employ the same tactics to deceive citizens. Therefore, cross-regional cooperation and information sharing are essential to effectively combat these syndicates. Before I end, I would like to once again thank the participating jurisdictions for their dedication and contribution.
之後再講下。
I now open the floor for questions. Please identify your media outlet when you are called. You're limited to 3 questions each time. The gentleman in black suit in the front, thank you. Good afternoon, I'm from Guangzhou Daily, Hong Kong. I'd like to ask the representative of Hong Kong and Macau. For these operations, did you share intelligence and information with the GBA Greater Bay Area? And I'd like to ask the Thailand representative regarding border cases with Myanmar. What about the latest progress? Thank you for your questions. For your first question, that is collaboration between Hong Kong and Macau. We are part of China. We have a lot of collaboration with the anti-scam centers in mainland China. We exchange intelligence information, and we also have public education programs. We have public education programs with the Anti-Deception Center in mainland China. For mainland students who are going to study in Hong Kong, they are high-risk groups. They don't know well the situation in Hong Kong. We provide information to them. Before their arrival in Hong Kong, we hold talks. We also share information about scams in Hong Kong with their parents. So before they come to Hong Kong, they already have a good understanding of the situation in Hong Kong. After arriving in Hong Kong, they will attend talks at schools so that they will have a good understanding of the situation in Hong Kong. We work with mainland China, but we also work very closely with a lot of stakeholders. We work with banks, monetary authority, and so on. Earlier on, we put in place a mechanism on anti-deception. The results are quite significant. We need the help with the National Anti-Fraud Center. For money remittances that have gone to China, we need the assistance of the National Anti-Fraud Center to help us. We also need to work with telecommunications operators. We maintain close liaison with them. When scams take place on their network, we request their assistance to intercept these scams. We also remind members of the public to stay vigilant. Some other cases concern new arrivals through the Top Talent Pass scheme. We disseminate information on anti-deception through different channels. Say, for real estate agencies, we disseminate information about these scams. So for property related scams, these new arrivals will also have the latest information. That's the collaboration between Hong Kong and mainland China. I now give the floor to Mr. Chung from Macau Judiciary Police. Thank you. As Mr. Wong just now mentioned, the Macau SAR is part of China. National Anti-Fraud Center provides us with a lot of assistance in the investigation into cases. There are government official impersonation scams. Some mainland students who go to Macau and Hong Kong to study fell victim to these scams. We adopt targeted publicity strategies. The National Anti-Fraud Center helped when parents of these students who have come to Hong Kong and Macau cannot contact their children. When money has arrived in the bank accounts of mainland China, the National Anti-Fraud Center of mainland China helped up with tracking the funds. Thank you.
Thailand and Myanmar in connection with technology crimes remain to be monitored. However, is it possible to predict the potential for criminal organizations to relocate or diversify their work base and use online communication channel to share more work?
下一條問題，中間黑色衫。
Next, the lady in the middle.
From the South China Morning Post. A few general ones for all speakers. I was wondering how has the Frontier Plus platform speed up communications between the jurisdictions involved under the program? How much time has been saved or how much procedures have been simplified in the process? I'm also interested in whether there were cross-border scam syndicates busted during the period of the operation, and if so, could we have more details as to which jurisdictions do these syndicates involve and how many people were arrested, etc. And one specific question for Mr. Park from South Korea. I was wondering, on the South Korean side of law enforcement, were there cross-border operations carried out using Frontier Plus during the operation? Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for your questions. For your questions, how we speed up our communications within our platform to enhance the successful arrest or intelligence exchange, right? So under this operation, we have direct communication channel. So through this channel, we can pass on information very quickly because we are in similar time zone, so it would be a lot more easier for us. For example, if one country who has a victim and his money was sent to another jurisdictions, we are actually racing with time because the money can disappear very, very quickly, like within 10 or 20 minutes, the money could be could be away from this jurisdiction, and we have no way to recover it. So the platform provides a very, very useful communication platform for us, so that we can communicate with each other very quickly. And with regard to your questions about the cross-border syndicate, actually the operation had just been completed on the 28th of May, so we are still working on a lot of investigation. But as I mentioned earlier in my report, you can see that a lot of the way that they commit crime is very, very similar. So we believe that there is linkage behind them, but whether there is evidence to provide to show the court of the linkage is another matter. We have to collect evidence before we can prove that in court. But apparently, from the MO or the way they commit the crime, we believe that there is some kind of linkage between these syndicates. So I hope I answer your questions. Whether Alan would want to supplement?
Okay, maybe I'll add a bit into it. Before the formation of Frontier Plus, if let's say we have money going to another country or another jurisdiction, usually we'll go through Interpol. And the challenge that we face is that sometimes due to time difference, the information is passed on at a later stage, and then there is some delay. And we all know that scam money travels very fast. Within minutes, they are being dissipated, or sometimes within hours, they are being dissipated. So with Frontier Plus, here we are looking at faster, swifter action. Like what Ernest has earlier mentioned, this is a direct contact. Instead of going through an intermediary, we go directly to the jurisdiction that is involved. From there, they can help us recover the money. Now, earlier I've mentioned about 3 cases where Singapore, Malaysia, and Hong Kong, we have helped each other recover money at speed. And during Frontier Plus, we have 2 cases where Malaysia National Anti-Scam Center has helped us recover two money also at speed, which was 9,400 as well as 9,600 Singapore dollars. So these are example, a testament of the effectiveness of Frontier Plus collaboration. So again, we urge every country, every jurisdiction to set up an anti-scam center so that we can disrupt scam operation at scale and speed.
And thank you for question. In South Korea, at this time, I don't know. I can't confirm whether any joint investigations were conducted with other countries affiliated with Frontier Plus during operation period. However, we intend to actively promote communications in the future, including the sharing of investigative information among member countries. Thank you.
下一條問題，
Next question. The lady in light blue at the back, please. Good afternoon, I'm from Now TV. I'd like to ask the Hong Kong police. The Hong Kong police intercepted 150 million Hong Kong dollars. What is your assessment of the results comparing with other jurisdictions? Is the amount on the low side? Apart from the interception of funds regarding KK Park cases, have you rescued other Hong Kong people from the KK Park? Is investigation still ongoing? Thank you. Thank you for your questions. Regarding KK Park, it's not within my purview. However, any Hong Kong person who has left Hong Kong may seek assistance from the Immigration Department of Hong Kong and China should they need assistance. Anytime, if you need assistance, please contact the Hong Kong Police or the Immigration Department. We will render assistance. In relation to amount, in our operations, we have frozen a total of 68 bank accounts. We have seized altogether $49 million. It's a race against the clock. The time of reporting the cases may be sometime after the commission of the offense. It's getting more and more difficult. Scammers know that the ADCC is trying its best to intercept funds. Technologies are also used to launder money. So when it comes to interception, we are doing our best. We're striving to intercept scam funds. We also use different means, such as Frontier Plus, to work with the law enforcement agencies in different jurisdictions. We have very close liaison. We try to freeze as much funds as possible in order to minimize the loss incurred to victims. Thank you. The lady in blue, thank you. I'm from TVB. I have a few questions regarding the operation this month. How many scams required cross-national collaboration and arrest regarding the platform Frontier Plus? Is its main function to freeze scam funds? Does it make it easier to do so? Or are there any other functions that you haven't touched upon? Other jurisdictions mention new scams. Can you share with us any new scams that might happen in Hong Kong? Thank you. Regarding the main purpose of Operation Frontier Plus, interception of funds is the main target, as funds move across different accounts very fast. It may happen within 10 minutes or even a shorter period of time. So this is indeed the most important function of the platform. On the platform, we have exchanged intelligence, and we also collaborated with one another on some cases. We exchanged information and what we have learned, as well as the skills after investigation into different cases. We learn from one another so that we have a better understanding of investigation skills as soon as possible. Some cases are similar in nature. So when it comes to public education, we learn from each other. Some customer service officers impersonation scams first took place in Hong Kong, and then they were seen in other places. We shared our investigation findings with other law enforcement agencies. Just now, as I mentioned, some mainland students study abroad. They may go to Singapore, Hong Kong, Macau, Korea, and so on. We know how well mainland students know about these scams. We have promotional materials as well. We share with other jurisdictions in these promotional materials. So through these public education programs, we will be able to help victims, and we will also be able to help prevent people from falling victim to different scams. Regarding figures, we are still investigating different cases. Most cases, we investigated these cases between the 28th of April and the 28th of May. Some cases are still being investigated. We need some time to have a good grasp on the facts of the cases. We need to establish whether these are cross-boundary cases. We will analyze all the evidence we have, all the information we have. So we're going to share with other jurisdictions our findings and investigation in due course. We will also be exchanging information and intelligence in order to bring scammers to justice. Speaker of mic. Thank you for your question. It's a very good question. A scam took place in Hong Kong and then in other places, but I cannot predict what scams that took place out of Hong Kong that might happen in Hong Kong. But a lot of scams are similar in nature. They exploit the greed of people. That's exactly why some people fall victim to scams. We work with the police force in different jurisdictions. We exchange information, intelligence. So when other new types of scams happen in Hong Kong, we can bring scammers to justice as soon as possible. The last two questions, the gentleman at the far end.
I'm from Hong Kong 01. A question for Mr. Wong. Just now, the Singaporean representative mentioned there's a transnational company, the finance director, and he was scammed out of $500,000 US. The money was transferred to Hong Kong, and then with the help of the Hong Kong Anti-Deception Center, the proceeds were fully intercepted. So can you tell us about whole case? What happened, and how did you work with Singapore? And at the end, how did you manage to intercept the transfer? Perhaps I could briefly explain the work of the Anti-Deception Coordination Center. Now, it's a center set up by the Hong Kong Police Force to deal with scam cases. Apart from intercepting proceeds, there is a hotline 18222. Anyone, if they feel that they have fallen victim to a scam, they could call us on this line, and then we will tell them if they've actually fallen victim to scam. And then there's and another important task we have is that we work with 28 retail banks in Hong Kong. We have close communication with them. If we receive a case requesting stopping of payment, we will inform the banks, and they work around the clock with the police to help stop payment of or transfer of scam proceeds. And then there are also 10 out of the 28 retail banks. They work with us actually at the ADCC, so it makes it quicker for us to trace scam proceeds. If we find scam proceeds have come to bank accounts in Hong Kong, then we will immediately liaise with the bank concerned, and then the bank could stop payment immediately for us, or the bank could tell us immediately where the funds have gone, and so it will make it easier for us to freeze scam proceeds. Just now, Ms. Eileen Yap of Singapore told you about a case. Well, it's actually the same arrangement. Anytime if we know that there is a case that requires our assistance, we work around the clock too. First, after we verify the details of the case, then we'll immediately liaise with the bank, and hopefully then we could freeze the funds as soon as possible. Thank you. Any other questions, please? If not, that's the end. Oh, sorry. Last question. The gentleman in blue on the front row. I'm from Ming Pao. Now, there are many scam parks along the border of Thailand and Myanmar. It seems that you can't really stop these syndicates. So are there ways that you could arrest the masterminds behind these scam syndicates? And another question is about funds stewardship accounts in Hong Kong. And what more can you do? Now, how many layers of bank accounts could you trace? Because after funds are transferred outside of Hong Kong, they will be further transferred. So usually, how quickly must you act to trace the funds? Now, I'll take your second question first about recovering proceeds. We spare no effort in that. You asked how many layers we could go through. Well, there is no fixed answer. It depends on individual cases. In some cases, maybe at the first or second layer, the funds have been transferred out using cash or other means. Maybe if they withdraw cash, and then they will buy, say, cryptocurrencies, and then they will take the money elsewhere. So whenever we need to recover proceeds, we'll do our best. But then it's hard to say how far we could go in tracing the different levels of transfer. But it depends really on the complexity or the gravity of the case. And so it's hard to give you fixed answer. The other question is about the masterminds of syndicates along the border of Thailand and Myanmar. Now, so we have different jurisdictions. Police officers in Hong Kong will deal with cases that happen in Hong Kong. But then there are exceptional cases too, but they are in small numbers. For example, for cases where we have jurisdiction, we'll deal with them. But then if it comes to cross-border scam cases, then different countries, not just countries on the Frontier Plus platform, must work together so that they could arrest the masterminds of scam candidates. That's the whole purpose of international collaboration. Hopefully through the sharing of information and intelligence and experience, then we could take to task all these masterminds. That's the end of the press conference. Thank you very much.
Thank you.